Hi there. I have received many questions around my process of goal setting. And so I'm here today to share with you what is my process for my personal goal setting. And a lot of things actually flow from a previous video that I did around vision creation, vision board creation, and I'll link that video down below in the description box. But here's the thing, what I do for my goal setting every year, sometimes even every quarter, is that I identify a few areas that I'm focusing on during that time, right? If it's a quarterly goal setting, I'll say this quarter I'm going to focus on only two things. And what are those two high level areas? Like they could be fitness and career, yeah, or they could be spiritual growth and fitness or something. Fitness is usually always there on my list. So once I identify those areas, and if you're doing it for a whole year, you might want to pick more than two and say 4 or 5. But once I have those high level areas, here's what I do next. I identify the outcomes that I am looking forward to in those areas. For example, if I'm saying fitness, the outcome could be something like running a marathon. It could be seeing a certain number on the scale, weight, fitting into a certain dress size, all of those things. So I identify 3 or 4 outcomes that I want in the area of fitness for myself. In the past, they've been some things like my HbA1c numbers, right? I wanted them at a certain level and they were not at a certain level. So those are the outcomes I'm looking for. And once I identify these outcomes, I don't hold myself accountable to these outcomes. These outcomes are something I'm working towards. The outcomes are something I want to make progress towards, but that is not something I can control 100%. For example, I may do all the right things and still my weight may not drop for some hormonal reason or whatever, right? Or I may do all the right things, but get sick during a marathon and I'm not able to run the marathon I registered for. So the outcomes really are something I'm working towards. I think my goal has been established if I've made my body strong enough, if I've built my endurance high enough to run a marathon. So outcomes, like I said, are just the guiding post. They are external accountability factors. How they're ways in which I'm going to measure my progress. I may or may not hit them, but that's where I want to go. That's the direction I want to flow in. Okay. And then for every outcome that I have decided for myself as something I want to see, a goal, I decide some systems. I will write for every outcome 2 or 3 systems that I will implement and put in place to make progress to those outcomes. And that really is the inner goal setting, like what I can control. I will hold myself accountable to those. And they will be things like showing up to the gym twice a week or 5 times a week or whatever you decide. They will be like eating a low carb dinner. They will be like running twice a week or whatever else, right? Making sure you take your multivitamins, all of those things. Those things I have 100% control on, no excuses, right? And so every area in my life is split into 2 portions. Outcomes, which sometimes can be out of my control, but also related systems and inner goals, which are 100% in my control. And I track on a daily basis, on a weekly basis at least, the inner goals that I've set for myself, the systems that I have decided to create for myself, and those that will help me drive towards the outcomes of my hopes and desires, right? So that's my process, guys. That's what I do in every area. I have focus area, and under each focus area, I have outcomes to achieve and the systems that will help me achieve those outcomes. And I track only the systems or the inner goals that I have set for myself that I can 100% control. And at the end of every month or quarter, when I'm reviewing it, I'm very kind to myself. I am looking at the previous month and saying, okay, I was able to follow my goal, my inner system goals 50% of the times, right? In the previous month. Well, this time I followed them 60% of the times. That's progress. That's progress. Do I feel stronger? Yes. Do I feel leaner? Yes. And then I'm not going to worry about whether I've reached the outcome or not. As long as I'm making progress and hardening those systems that I know eventually with consistency will get me to the outcomes one day or the other. And so that's my system for goal setting and holding myself accountable and creating concrete action steps so that I'm a better version of myself. If you have a process, I'd like to hear about yours too. So let me know in the comments below.